Okay, hi everyone. So welcome to the next session. As we said, we're going to talk on SOC 2 Type 2 and SOC 2 Type 1 and SOC 2 Type 2. Remember, we've covered briefly the different SOC reports. You've heard of SOC 1 report, SOC 2 report, SOC 3 report. SOC 1 report, financials, for SOC 2 security, and SOC 3 a summary, high-level summary of your SOC 2. SOC 1 restricted. Definitely NDA will be required to view that report. SOC 2, likewise, SOC 3, not really. Organization can have it on their website. Just to let you know, guess what? We have this report, okay? But talking about SOC 2 Type 1 report and SOC 2 Type 2 report, what's the difference? Why would an organization want to go for a Type 1 or a Type 2 report? Let's try to understand this better. So first, as we talk of the scope for a SOC 2 Type 1 report, it evaluates design of controls. Are they properly set up to meet the trust service criteria? Remember, there are 5 of them: confidentiality, integrity, availability, security, and privacy. Why for SOC 2, evaluate design and operational effectiveness. So we'll start hearing of operational effectiveness, how the efficacy of your controls, how effective they are. Have the controls be consistently followed over a period of time? And the key difference you're going to get between SOC 1 and SOC 2, I mean, type 1 and type 2 for SOC 2 is that type 1 we talk of a specific period of specific point in time, rather, while SOC 2 we talk of, ongoing, over a period of time. I'm really going to see that, in depth. Okay. Do you see the time, point in time? Only test the state of your control on a specific day. For example, want to test your control on a specific point in time, maybe May 1st or May 30th or May 20th, it doesn't matter. But what of SOC 2 Type 2? Over a period of time, test control over a sustained period. Okay, for example, you come to a UST, we are trying to achieve a SOC 2 report. You have the auditors there. They will check report over that period of time, say all the way from January to we're in June. You've checked, are those controls be consistent? Have they been effective? Not in a situation where you check it at a point in time, in case of point on SOC 1, you really cannot tell if that control has been consistent over that period of time. You understand? And I'm laying emphasis because, again, when you are analyzing report, you analyze it in a backward fashion, okay, but use it more in the future. But how does it really play? And that we're going to see that shortly. Okay. Say, for example, it's usually 3 to 12 months, e.g., January 1 to June 30th, 2025. Okay. What's the ideal use? I do for first time reports, startups or new system. You see, again, remember, it's not like that organization is SOC 2 Type 2 compliance or have SOC 2 Type 2 report. We are talking of the service, the kind of service. And that's why you have organization, if that system, that particular system that has information processing or collecting, do they have a SOC 2 Type 2 report? Come to think of all, how many SOC 2 Type 2 reports do you think a software development company will have? Of course, if you are having your software, you're trying to get customer, how am I even gonna really get your software if I'm not sure that you've gone through all of these, or maybe even providing some form of services that organization want to take. For example, you guys, your scanning system, your organization did not manufacture their scanning tools like Nessus or Rapid7 or any other tool, SolarWinds. They did not, right? They are relying on somebody to provide them those tools. And that's where we're talking about, do they have a software report? Have they tested, their controls to make sure they have best security posture? What of crash strike, endpoint detection and response tools, and many other tools that you all can manage, could mention, right? Even your organization bringing Grammarly, your organization bringing Teams, your organization bringing what Teams, Slacks, all those things. Your organization bringing PDF, your organization bringing like all those tools that you guys have. You definitely have to assess the security posture of all the services that you guys are relying for, relying on an external vendors to provide. Okay, so that's just to tell you how cumbersome and complex third-party vendor risk is. And with AI, so how can AI analyze this? Yes, maybe organization can have process in play where AI can analyze, their report, but still, is it really safe? Do we know of the security risks also come with AI? And by the way, even if it analyzes, the judgment can never be the same as a human going there, reading and asking those questions. Okay. And as I said, this is an interesting course. This one in particular is so like it is my baby. This third party vendor risk, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is something I'm very passionate about. Okay. So stay tuned. Right. And then for example, we had multi-factor authentication enabled on April 1, 2025. Auditor only check on that day to make sure it's enabled. But point in time, have you all checked, for a considerable period of time to make sure that it has been consistent? Because today you can have, this MFA enabled. Tomorrow it has broken, it's not working, and that's why we said we have MFA enabled and enforced daily from January 1 to June 30th. And yes, the audit logs across the period. So not only checking to make sure it's been enabled, we'll actually go further, tested it, and also see the logs that show you like, all the activities and everything, right? Or you try to log in, when they say go to your authentication app to put it, do the logs that is being generated. That's exactly what we're saying. And this will be done over a period of time. But again, so let's try to understand the point in time versus time over time in the SOC 2 report. What it means, real example, and audit impact. So point in time, the auditor check if your control exists and are properly designed on a specific date. Looking, for example, it's like taking a snapshot of a door lock physical control on May 1st, 2025. Is the lock there? Is it designed well? Good for proving you have controls in place, but doesn't how well they work over the time. That's why if they are trying to do a physical control, you go there. Yes, that door is locked. Maybe it leads to where you have like your servers and everything. That door has to remain locked. You check, it's locked. That's a one-time thing. But is it something you check, for a period of 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, every day to check that that does still remain locked? That's just a difference between point in time as well as over time. But let's look for over time. The auditors evaluate if your controls are both well designed and consistently followed over a period of 3 to 12 months. Do you see? Like recording a security camera videos from January 1 to June 30th, 2025. So to see if the dog was eventually locked every time. If you have your ADT or whatever services you go with, you can go to to your recording, you can see all the activities. Okay. Like me, I'm doing a 3x60 recording. So anything that happens, I definitely go there and I see it and I retain that for a period of time. So likewise, when they have that CCTV cameras, so the auditors can go there, analyze all the different logs to make sure that particular door remain locked all the time. And this is exactly what we are saying, right? But what of the audit impact provides stronger assurance that your controls not only exist, but are reliable, effective over time, right? But what's the analogy? Say for type 1, it's like taking a picture of your front door to prove you have a lock. While type 2 is like showing 6 months of doorbell cameras footage to prove you are actually use the lock consistently. But why does it matter, right? Clients and regulators often prefer type 2 because it proves performance, not just intentions. Okay? You see? And that's why I said that you're going to be requesting type 2 a lot. Many companies start with type 1 as readiness step, then gradually to type 2 in the next audit cycle. Do you see? Companies start with type 1 as a readiness step, but then step into type 2. If I start up a company, I have a new system, definitely type 1 just to show that maybe adhere to the 5 trust service criteria that we've mentioned. But for me to really prove my trustworthiness for organization to be able to take me as their vendor to sign or get into business with me, many a time they'll have to prefer the SOC 2 report because the SOC 2 report shows the effectiveness operational effectiveness of your controls over a period of time. I hope this makes sense, right? And the next question, but who prepares SOC 2 type 1 report? Okay, we will see that. SOC 2 type 1 report is prepared by a licensed CPA, certified public accountant firm, that specialize in attestation engagement under the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants Standards, specifically, as I was stated by SSAE 18 Statement on Standard for Attestation Engagement. That's what that thing stands for. Statement on Standard for Attestation Engagement. Okay? Then we'll also have to break down the responsibility, who is involved in what, who's have to do what, and so on and so forth. For example, talking about you as a service organization, I think with this, I'll also just have to break the video. That way we understand what you have to do and what the independent firm also needs to do as far as achieving this report that we've discussed. Otherwise, I'll see you guys, in the next video. Bye for now.